All right, welcome to another video. Just a few things I want to talk about in this video that I feel that is appropriate for this channel. I have learned many decades ago when I was very young that if you want anything done and you want it done right, you have to basically do it yourself. But you have to have the patience to get that done, regardless what it may be. Try to rely on other people to get something done is not always the best scenario to use. When you put a task in somebody else's hands, you don't know how really reliable they are, and they really don't understand the importance of the task at hand. They will not tackle it, pursue it the way you would. Now, sometimes you have to rely on other people. That's just a way of life. But anything that you can get done yourself, I highly recommend to do that. You'll find that things get done, the very important things get done more faster, more accurately. You will have to have patience because sometimes what you need to get done, you have no other choice but to do it yourself. Just like I got here in this home, this studio, December of 2019. I was informed when I called around before I moved here that high-speed internet was available for this particular address. So I moved with that information in mind, because I got this big studio, put thousands and thousands of dollars in it, just to display here and the monitors and then the custom computer I built and multiple other things. But after I got here, I come to find out that I was given false information that high-speed internet from a certain company was not available to this address. So I had to fight a big battle all by myself. Nobody else was able to help me. It was a task that I had to deal with all alone. Making the phone calls, making the appointments. And here it is, late part of 2023. Just a few weeks ago, I finally got that internet connection to this address. It should not be that much of a task to get something that simple done. But that's the battles sometimes in life you have to deal with. But as they always say, knowledge is power. And that is true. Practically everything I ever dealt with, it's always true. And this is no exception whatsoever. Since I provide internet for multiple RV parks, each one was a task of its own, and I gain more knowledge of how things can get done, what needs to be in place to get internet in a location under certain circumstances. That knowledge paid off when I try to get internet in this location. A ordeal that I had to deal with at one RV park. They would not put a business line in there whatsoever. I talked to the owner, and he said that it used to be a mobile home park. And he mentioned that the mobile home park where his office is was lot 17, I do believe it was. So we sat down and discussed, say, it's got to be a way to get around this and get this done. I said, see if you can get a residential connection here, since that was an address. Because I learned that to get a connection at an address, it had to be an address through the post office. It had to be a physical address, a mailing address. At least that's what one of the representatives at this company told me that I was trying to get internet from. And I remember that. I'm like, wonder if that's actually true. I've never tested that. So the owner tried, and it did work. He got a connection. That got them to put a physical line to that office where he's at, even though it was under, like it was a mobile home. Then I just simply ordered a business line for the exact same address. They checked to say, well, the line's already there, so we should be able to give you a business line. And they did. That's what I had to do here. I've been trying to get a business line at this address. But that knowledge that I gained a few years back told me how a way that possibly I can get internet here. Because I've been trying to get a business line here, not a residential. And representative that I talked to online, one of them said, no, we can't get no business line in there, but some of the lots there, we can get a residential account. So I said, which ones? They told me, and lo and behold, history repeated itself. Got a residential, then converted over to a business, and here I am. But nobody told me that I was able to get a residential line here, because I didn't see no physical evidence that it ever been here, like I did over that the other RV park, that the box was still there. But sometimes you have to get things done yourself. You have to stick it through over long periods of time, sometimes, just to get it done, to gain all that information, gain that knowledge, to get something done that you're set out to get done. Sometimes it will be putting you in a dark place all by yourself, and you just have to regroup, rethink, get frustrated multiple times because you keep getting the same answer. Yes, we can do a survey and see what comes up. And then the survey comes out. Nope. Say, yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't be able to get you service there. We'll do a survey. Survey done. Again. Nope. Can't be done. It was just over and over. It's like a broken record. It's just the same thing over and over until I found that loophole that I can use in this location as I did in the other one. Because I was even told we can't get any service in there at all, residential, commercial. There's no infrastructure there. So I didn't even think about doing the same scenario I did at the other RV park. until that one representative confirmed that it can be residential. She says the address says residential can be installed there. And I remembered doing that RV part that way. I said, "Can I place an order with you?" And she said, "Yep." So she placed the order. And within a week, I had my line ran and I had my connection as a residential. Soon as I saw them coming out and burying that line, that told me all the hard work I did paid off, because they were not going to bury that line and not finish it and give me my connection that I've been looking for and waiting on for years. You just have to set your goal, see them through to the end. If you want something bad enough, you have to stick it through and just see it to the point where you have exhausted every opportunity to get that task done. Things in life keep changing, so it gives you different opportunities and different ways to get a task done in a different way than it used to be years ago. For example, it's easier to make money than it used to be. Back in the early years, even when I graduated high school back in the 80s, pretty much uh, the way everybody or most people looked at it, the traditional way is you go to public school, high school, you graduate, go to college, get a degree, find something in the field that you went to college for, regardless if it's your master's or whatever degree you may have gotten from college. Pretty much you think of a field that you want to go into, rather you know if you like it or not because you've not been in it. But you spend all these thousands of dollars to go to college, and some people found that after they got into the field, they're like, this ain't for me. So they have to restart and figure out what they do like. And hopefully it's not too far down the line before they realize what they thought they would like to do is not what they really want to do. And back then, things like parents always tell kids, never get in a car with a stranger. And here we are putting our kids in Uber and Lyft and all every day. Things have changed to way things are being done. Things are easier, like making money, as I mentioned, it's easier to do. You don't have to go to high school and then figure out what you want to do in school, in life, and go get a degree at a college and all that. If you can get a car, get your license, get insurance, and keep yourself out of trouble, you can go pick up food or to be your own boss of a taxi, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, any of them. Back then it was, the jobs were get an interview and hopefully they picked you for the job. Now you just open up an app, fill up with gas, Go make money. $200-300 a day that you can do. It's a total different world out there than it used to be. You have to adapt to the new ways of life. What your parents had to do to get a job is not what it is today. Your parents probably would never, ever thought of putting their kids in a stranger's car. I even heard some back then, like, I'll never let my kids even get in taxi. They don't know the person that's driving. And now here we are, not only just regular taxi, we got all this apps of Uber and Lyft and all. And even the parents can make account for their kids to get their own rides. Things have changed, and we have to adapt to it. It's not like the old days, like you got to do A, B, C, D, and E in order. It's a total different ballgame. You just open up an app and drive, make money. The 9 to 5 is no longer a thing as it once was. Now, still people go to high school, go to college, get a degree, and work 9 to 5 jobs. But the options that we all have now is abroad of opportunities of being your own boss. You don't have to work 9 to 5. You can work 9 to 10, come home to your wife, or your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, whatever, have lunch, get back in the car, turn on the app, go drive another 3 or 4 hours while your partner is at work, maybe a 9 to 5 job, or maybe he or she may be driving as well. You turn it on and off. There is no 9 to 5 situation unless you decide to go to the old traditional way of getting that kind of job. You don't have to worry about set hours. Well, man, I got to get up 6 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday, and be able to get to work by 8, and none of that. You get up on your own time. Now, if you can't pay your bills because you're not having enough money coming in, then you can't blame that you're not getting enough hours or something because you're spending too much money or you're not willing to get up and drive enough. That's one disadvantage of being your own boss. You're being a entrepreneur is you can't blame your boss because you might as well go in the bathroom and look in the mirror because that's who your boss is. The days of, oh man, I don't feel good, I drank too much over the weekend and went to that party. You don't have to call in sick. You just don't go drive on Monday morning. Maybe you feel better in the afternoon. Flip the app on and go make some money. I mean, if you make, let's see, like, what's a good average now? Say, like we've seen across the board, everybody, even at McDonald's, wanted $15 an hour. And that is $600 a week if you work 40 hours. Well, that's not really that much, really, of doing Uber and Lyft and all that, because you can go make $100 a day, if not more, that I've seen on YouTube of people making, 200 or more. Different apps they use, they start to know when is the best time to use a certain app, certain day, certain time of the day, of the week, that's going to be the most profitable. And you can, knock back $200 a day. That's $1,000 a week if you work Monday through Friday and still had the weekends off. So the opportunity is definitely there. You don't have to ask for extra hours of work and we don't have no extra work for you. We don't have to worry about that. Just open up the app and drive more. And if you have to schedule, well, there's other apps. There's some like Uber that you just turn on. Don't matter when, as long as I think it's like 12 hours you can go at one time. Then you have to take 6 hours off. Well, imagine what you can make in 12 hours if you go from 9 in the morning till 9 at night and then take 6 hours off. And that's going to be till 3 in the morning, but it gives you time to go to sleep and rest and all, and start the next day at 9 o'clock and do it another 12 hours. You can make a lot of money by just driving around, delivering people's food and groceries. Now, of course, there is some cities where this company that has teamed up with Uber that got self-driving cars. Now, that's good for taxi, the Uber X or any other ones. But the car can't go in and get food or go grocery shopping and put it at your front steps or bring it in for you. Now, of course, technology will advance, and eventually they'll have robots riding in the car to do nothing but picking up the food and dropping it off. But then again, there's places like Walmart that you can order online, you can drive your car there, and they will bring it out and put it into your vehicle, and then you go home. Now, over time, if it gets to the public that can buy a vehicle that's manless or driverless, that you can tell it to go to Walmart and pick up your order of whatever. It will drive to Walmart. They come out, they match on the app to your license plate, and it will automatically open up your vehicle for them somehow through the app after it's been confirmed, some barcode, something, whatever. They put all the stuff in it, and then when it's done, closed, the car will automatically drive itself back to your home. Then all you have to do is go out to your car and get your groceries or order whatever it may be. It's not far-fetched. It's already in the works of getting to that point when they got cars driving themselves. That's the middleman, they say. They just need to get each end connected to the middleman. And the public is one of them. You will have an app say, okay, you can place an order into Walmart and it will go to Walmart. That's your end. Then they already got it at Walmart where they bring it out. So it just needs to be tied together. So to get A, B, and C together. So you send it, cargo gets it, Walmart loads it up, the car brings it back, you unload it. It's getting there. But jobs will still be there. It's just, like I said, times change, and you have to adapt to them. Them cars may drive themselves. And even Walmart, just like Amazon, will have machines that rotates the inventory and puts it on the trucks or whatever. There's going to be people still pretty much working at stores like Walmart. It's going to be fewer and fewer as time goes on, like self checkouts. You go to Walmart now, pretty much after 6 o'clock in my area, there might be one checkout that has a human to it, a regular checkout. Rest of them, 8 of them, is self checkout. It's getting there, but you have to adapt to it. Does that mean humans are no longer going to be needed? Well, they are all machines. Self-driving cars, checkouts, and all that. It needs maintenance. Until they make a robot that repairs the robots, humans will be needed and there will be jobs. How long will that take? I don't know, but you just have to adapt to the new way of things getting done. What it used to be 30 years ago is not what it is now. Used to, you have to get up, work 9 to 5, sometimes 6 days a week to make your 40 hours or whatever, to make a paycheck. And if you want to raise, try to ask for extra hours or try to get more per hour, more commission. Now, you just turn on an app, go drive. You and your wife and you or your husband can go out and deliver food, and then at the end of the day, go out for dinner. It's a changing world each and every day. And sometimes it's hard to keep up with it. But it's not impossible. Even things that used to cost millions to get done just 20, 30 years ago. Like, if you want to have your own TV show, you would have to go through hoops, jump through hoops and everything else and come up with this money to get a TV show. Now, you can sit in your own built studio, make content, whether that's pre-recorded like this, or you can go live and people across the whole world can see you. You can set your own schedule. You can have a Saturday Night Live or Sunday evening, whatever you want, like it used to be in the old days. But you're doing it from the comfort of your own home. But now, they even have it that you could be riding down the road or sitting in the park and be able to have your show. You have your own radio show. You can have a 24/7 radio show now. And it costs you $0 to do it, except the little bit of equipment that you'll need. And that's pretty much, if you got a laptop and you got the internet, pretty much you're set. You just need a microphone to get good quality of audio and put in the right apps, which are free, and the website is free to set up account. It's not millions of dollars to have your own TV show or TV station. Not just a show, but you can have your own TV station. Let others come in to have their shows on your TV. Or have their own shows on your radio. You can charge people to have their own radio station, of their own show on your radio station. Because some people don't have the knowledge of the techno side. They are great sitting behind a microphone and talking about a subject that they are very knowledgeable of. Rather that's politics, religion, or news, weather, whatever it may be. Like I said, there's many ways and opportunities to make money that's out of the rim of the traditional way. High school, figure out what you want to do in life, go to college, get your degree, try to go out there and get a job. And if you find a job, it might be 1,000 miles away that you have to travel and live just to be able to get that job. Now you can stay in your own town if you want and drive. I even seen people now that will travel town to town and drive for these apps, making money so they can travel to the next town, living the life. Instead of saving money for a year or two and take a good vacation, they live on vacation. They're always on vacation. And they ride around. It's all GPS, so they don't have to know the town. Pick up food, deliver it for a few hours, pay for their stay, and move on to the next town 3 or 4 days later. And, see the whole country. I've seen a lot of people do it. There's like 2 or 3 channels I've seen them like that say one person I saw that was in this town, and the next month I saw he was driving in another town, and that was like 2 or 3 states over. I thought he was visiting somebody, and then I kept on watching his channel, and then next thing I know, he was 3 or 4 states over, and then a couple months later, he was all the way on the other side of the United States traveling and making videos, driving to put money in his pocket, and getting to see the whole country and get paid for it. Nine to 5 is no longer necessary. Asking for extra hours to get extra pay to go on vacation is not necessary. Calling in sick is not necessary. You just don't go drive. But I found one thing that never changes. People will always falsely accuse you of things, don't matter how significant that this world changes. People still going to be angry. They still going to accuse people of things that they didn't do. They almost like their life is get up in the morning. Who can I piss off? Who can I falsely accuse and get away with it? They almost like a life mission. They have the most boring life ever. But that's something that you just have to let it be like water on a duck's back. Let it just run off and pay them no mind. It's just like the internet. I had clients in the past that just want to complain 5 minutes after it stops working and come find out that it's not the internet, it's the app they're using, but trying to get them convinced that it's not the internet is almost impossible. But you have to go over there and show them that there's nothing wrong with the internet time and time again. Even though you can tell them to change apps and see if it works on a different app. Yeah, it works great on that app, but it don't work on this one. It need the internet fixed. They don't understand the technology, how it works. They just know that that's an app they want to use. And if it's messing up, they want to blame someone else that has no blame to be put on. It's the app. It's not the internet, because if it's the internet, no app would work properly. But you just have to kindly and to let them know that it's not the internet. Comfort them and move on. The app starts working. They feel that you've done something that corrected the issue, and they're okay until it does it again. Life changes, but some things in life stays and remains the same. That's part of human. Some people just cannot get out of that rut, and that's the way they want to live their life. You will always be falsely accused of something, whether you know that you're being accused of it or not, to your face or not, indirectly, a rumor or whatever. But don't let it stop you from progressing and succeeding at the goals that you set in your life. Because if you don't get there, you can only blame yourself. You can't blame anybody else. If nobody stopped you and you've done everything you can, every option has been exhausted and you can't do any more, then it's nobody's fault. It just wasn't meant to be. But don't blame somebody else when you're not doing your part. Regardless if they want to falsely accuse you of something, don't let that stop you. It didn't me. And it never has, never will. It's not always easy, but get my book and read, and you'll see what I had to go through. This one ordeal that I decided to write a book about, that I just could not pass up of writing a book about it. If I wrote a book for every time I was falsely accused of something, I would have to be writing every day. But this one was unusually different from the other things I've been accused of in my life. Something that I thought would be relevant enough to write that other people can relate to, of being in that dark place. Maybe not for the same reason, but falsely accused to the point where it took a toll on them and almost broke them to the point where they were going to give up. I almost got to that point. But I was determined that I was going to do the very opposite. I was going to make my life better than it was before that BS happened. And it has been better than it ever has been. I took all the options that has presented itself that was not there before all this. I did YouTube and all about the heat and air and all, but the Uber and Lyft and Instacart and stuff like that wasn't there when I was doing all the heat and air and everything. It was not even a thing. So I said, can I utilize things that's changed to make my life better, more abundant, more free than it was before that BS happened? And I figured out how to do it, and I did it. And I'm glad I did. Don't let anybody tell you how to live your life. You're the one that's going to have to wake up every morning and to live with it. If you're not living the life that you want to be living, it's no better time than right now to get that changed. That's not word for word, but there is a gig driver that says that pretty much at the end of every video that he makes on YouTube. And he's right. If you're not living the life that you want to, it's no better time to right now to get that changed. Only you can make that change, regardless if you're falsely accused or whatever. Don't matter if you got people think you got the best job there is. If you're not happy, it's not worth having the job. You're going to be miserable. I'd rather make $12 an hour and enjoy the job I'm doing than making $25 an hour and be bored out of my brains every day and not want to get to work. Because I would do that $12 job a lot better than I would do that $25 job because I enjoy it. So analyze what you're doing. Everything in your life. Are you happy? Are you getting falsely accused of things? Don't let it stop you. Go after the life that you want. That means you have to move, get away from the negativity that is surrounded you. Then perhaps you may need to do that. But live the life that you want. Be happy. With that said, I will see you in the next video. Take care.